evening. Tonight I'm going to do a Greek beer tasting. I have two beers by Zeos Brewing Company. One is a Pilsner at 5% alcohol by volume, and one is what I'm going to assume is a black lager, also at 5%, that a friend of mine brought back when she was in Greece earlier this year for her honeymoon. Pretty sure that was this year that she's gotten married. 2018 has been so long, I can't even remember. I mean, do you remember that we had the Olympics earlier this year? I don't. Anyway. So, these two Greek beers. I'm going to give these a try. She wasn't able to bring back the one that's from her particular village, which I'm a little bit sad about. We've only been able to find it at the Greek festival that happens locally. When was that? Also not very long ago. It's the one that comes in the blue bottle. So as soon as I get my hands on that, we'll give that one a try too. So I'm going to try the Pilsner first and then the black lager. And I have these tiny tasting glasses normally, but they're dirty. And so we're going to use these really cool skull shot glasses. No regrets. Okay, so Zeos Brewing Company out of Argos. In Greece, it says barley malts, wheat malts, hops, and yeast. Yeah, and then nothing else that looks interesting to me. So this is a premium export for them, but I feel like you could just put that on a label and it doesn't make a difference. Also, drinking beer out of tiny skull glasses is great. So a little heady, not super heady. You can see that this does have some nice color to it, a light yellow color to it. Big bubbles. So anyway, I'll just leave it at that. Let's have a smell. I almost get the sweetness from this beer, like honey mead. Not decidedly lagery smelling, which is nice. I'm not a big fan of lager. Pilsner is technically a lager, but like just lagers, ugh, I hate that. I really do hate that smell. So yeah, sweet like honey mead almost. So cheers. Interesting. My noise was that it kind of tastes like husks, and I can't think of God, what is that I've eaten that tastes like husks? I'll have to think about what that flavor is. Not peanut husks. I can't think of what that flavor is. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'll think about that for a minute. But it also has an almost metallic flavor to it, and then like a nicely surprising bitter long finish where that kind of metallic-y husk flavor goes on, but then it develops a bitterness, which is kind of a sneaking bitterness. And it keeps going. Possibly forever. Wish I could think of what the smell is. Actually, I just took another, I'm sorry, not smell, husk flavor. I wish I could think of what that is. I just took another smell, and it smelled, I distracted myself, I forgot it. Jeez. Oh, it smelled metallic, like it had that, like the flavor, because it's like slightly metallic flavored. And I wonder sometimes, part of what gives these beers brewed in these specific regions their very specific flavor is the well water that they use. And well water will be imbued with, minerals that are found in that area. And so you might get metallic flavors or sulfur type flavors and all kinds of things like that, depending on what the well water is like, which is part of what makes these beers really unique and interesting. So a lot of times here, as we mass produce beers, we're conditioning the water to give it what we perceive as neutral, which really probably is going to be neutral based on our local tap water. And my tap water is out of Hetch Hetchy, And so other people, I drink their tap water. I'm like, this is weird. Like, it just tastes different or sometimes gross. And conversely would drink mine, which to me has no flavor because I'm used to it. And it has a distinct flavor to it. So this water content is really important. When we're, as a brewer, when you're trying to brew to style or to mimic a specific recipe, you need to pay close attention to what the water content is. And you can change that by adding different things to it, calcium and different minerals, to change that flavor, to change the flavor of the beer outcome specifically, but also to really tailor and really kind of come down and get that exact same flavor that they're getting out of the recipe that you're trying to mimic. All right, anyway, one more drink. This is a very interesting beer. I guess it has barley, so maybe I'm tasting barley, and I just can't place where I've tasted that taste before, but, very distinct grain flavor to this beer where it's very husky. And now I wonder, like, did they just mill it in and the husks are included, and that's, like, tannin-y in a way, and I don't know if tannin is the right word, but, if that is really contributing to the flavors or not. But very distinctly a husky flavored beer, which is interesting. So, cool. So that's the Pilsner, and I'm not going to compare it to the standard Pilsner because we'll just let it, I guess we can get rid of this Band-Aid. We can let it lie as its own Greek Pilsner. Let's have a look at the Zeos Black. Again, it doesn't specify here. It actually has the exact same ingredients: barley malt, wheat malts, hops, and yeast. So it doesn't specify if it's a lager or not, or a Pilsner. It could be a black Pilsner, I suppose, if that's the other beer that they're brewing, but I don't know for sure. Oops. Okay. So this one is also a little bit heady. And on this side of the glass, actually, I guess on that side of the glass, but you can't really see it as much. There's a lot of bubbles sticking to this glass, which has been sitting out on my shelf, and I probably should have rinsed it, and I totally did not. So don't be like me. Make sure you rinse your barware. Bubbles on the glass is bad. Okay, so kind of heady, but it looks like it's going to dissipate because actually the bubbles have already gotten kind of big, so it doesn't look like it's like a nice thick sticking foam like a Guinness would have. A light kind of brown. I don't know if I can get this light right over it. No, not helpful. When I'm looking through it, it's brown like a brown ale, so kind of thin brown, not opaque in the same way that you would expect out of a call it a stock. My goodness, you guys, my words tonight. A stout. Not as opaque as we would expect in a stout. All right. Aroma. That metallic, I'm getting a really strong metallic scent out of this one. A little bit of grain, mostly metallic smell. Jeez. All right, cheers. That's interesting. Very grainy and amazing. Actually, I like this beer a lot. It's a little, I really like malts, and so that malt flavor to me is really great. This kind of reminds me of a brown ale, a little bit of a stout, kind of a porter. Porter to me is dusty. Actually, maybe a porter. Brown ale for the thinness, but porter a little bit, where it has that kind of acrid coffee flavor, acrid, deeply roasted grain flavor, which is pretty delicious in this beer. Otherwise, it's nice and light, and then it has that kind of metallic tinge on it, which is an interesting combination of flavors with that nice maltiness. Interesting. Very drinkable beer. I think given the option between the two beers, if I were ever faced with this option again, I will definitely select the black, just because I have a preference toward maltier beer profiles. But the Pilsner was very drinkable. I'm really enjoying that kind of metallic flavor that's there. It gives it this kind of zingy zestiness, and really adds to the flavor of the beer. Again, like I said, I'm very curious about what the water source for this brewing company is, and if we're tasting what their well water tastes like. Pretty cool. So again, that's Zeos Brewing Company Pilsner and Black, both at 5% alcohol by volume. If this is a beer that you've had either of these, please share with me. I would love to hear your thoughts. Did you think it was metallic and zingy? Do you know if they're using well water? What gives it that flavor? Which of these two do you like most? And what are your thoughts specifically on the black ale? The black. I want to know if you're a multi-beer person, what you thought about this. So there you have it. My Zeos tour. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.